Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about the past continuous tense. So please, let's get started, pay attention. So the first thing we want to talk about is when to use the past continuous tense, okay? So the past continuous tense is used to talk about actions that were ongoing at a specific time in the past, number one. Then actions that were interrupted by another action in the past. And third, two or more situations happening simultaneously in the past. How do we see these in actual sentences? Let's go and see. For example, ongoing action. She was reading at 8 p.m. last night. How do you translate this into Spanish? Think about it. Interrupted action. I was cooking when the phone rang. Also, try to think about this sentence in Spanish. What would it be? Then third will be simultaneous actions. They were playing while I was studying. So again, try to think about it. How would you translate these sentences into Spanish? And write them down. And then you can bring them to class and we can double check. Okay, so the past continuous tense. Structures, right? As usual, we always check this. The positive structure or affirmative structure. So we're going to have the subject always at the beginning. We have this divided into two, as you can see, I, he, she, and it, which are the ones that use the verb to be form of was, and we, you, and they, which use were. So we're going to have the subject plus the verb to be in the past form plus the verb in the ing form, okay? So remember that for all subjects, the verb takes the ing, and it's pretty simple. You already know how to form the ing form of the verbs because we already studied the present continuous, okay? Anyway, we're going to check that too. Now, how to use the negative or how to make the negative structure? Pretty simple. In here, we're just going to add the not to the verb to be. So we still have the subject, then we have the verb to be, was or were, depending on the subject that you're using. We add the not, so we can say was not or wasn't, were not or weren't, plus the ing form of the verb. And remember, in here, I didn't, and in the previous one, I didn't add the complement. But you know that all these sentences, after the structure, then we can always add the complement of the sentence, okay? Or more details to that sentence. Now, let's talk about the question form. As usual, we're going to use inversion in here. So we're going to start with the verb to be in the past form, was or were, and then we add the subject and then the ing form of the verb. What is important here, as we have been seeing, and at this point you probably already know, that every time if someone asks you a yes/no question in past continuous, like were you reading yesterday at 8 p.m., then your answers would be yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. So remember that you always answer to these yes/no questions with the auxiliary verb or the helping verb that the question is being asked. So in this case, with the verb to be in the past. I'm not gonna stay in here too long. These are just like some reminders of the several spelling rules for when you add the ing form. So just stop this part or pause the video in here and just try to remember how these things change depending on the ending of the base form, right? So do, doing, play, playing, study, studying, and all the other roles that we have already covered when we learned the present continuous tense. Well, I know I'm such a nice person. I still added the rules in here, so you can pause the video and take notes of it if it is the case that you don't remember. We have more here, so pause the video again. Okay, so now let's talk about time expressions. As you know, usually every tense has their its own set of time expressions that are usually used for whenever we talk about situations or actions happening in a specific time or tense. So in this case, for the past continuous, we will find us using the word while, which means mientras, when, which means cuando, at, a las, specific time, and then all day, morning, night, todo el día, en la mañana, en la noche. And as is like that as will be como, for example, as I was waiting for the bus, an accident happened in front of me, for example. So that would also be considered some sort of mientras estaba esperando el bus, un accidente sucedió. Okay, so we have the example down here with the word when. I was reading a book when the phone rang. So this tense is actually, it's not that complex because it's very similar to the structure that we use in Spanish. As I have told you before, there are some tenses that share like the same structure in Spanish and in English. So this is one of them where we use the subject, we use a helping verb like was or where, which in Spanish we also use it because we say estaba, estábamos, están. Of course, there are many variations in Spanish. It's way more complicated. And then the ing form or the gerund, which is playing. I was playing. Yo estaba jugando. So this is easier. Anyway, complete the worksheet that is in the classroom and complete the homework. Also follow the instructions in there. And then bring your questions to the class and also bring the homework. All right. So that's everything for today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.